let's look at my sport autographs. Alright everybody, and welcome to the next in my series of autograph collection videos, and we're going to look at my sport autographs. As you can see, this shares a folder with my music ones, which I've already shown, so this won't take long to go through because it's only about half a folder's worth. So let's find the start. Okay, so first up, this is a signed picture of Chris Tavares, the Kent and England cricketer. I got this in a bundle of 100, it was a job lot of 100 autographs that I bought on eBay that I did an unboxing of on this channel, so you can watch that if you haven't already. These were also in this, so this is the Huddersfield Giants Rugby League team. On the back of each of these is a list of as many autographs as could be recognised. Charlton Athletic Football Team and Rochdale Football Club. This was in person. This was Michael Vaughan, the former England cricket captain and Strictly star. I met him at Collector Mania. He wasn't the nicest bloke. He was alright, but he was purely there to make money. He wasn't interested in a chat. This was Peter Ebdon, former world snooker champion. He was at the same Collector Mania. He was a very nice guy. We didn't have a long chat, but it was pleasant enough. And at the same event was possibly the greatest natural talent who's ever played the game of snooker, and that's Ronnie O'Sullivan. It was quick because he was busy and he wasn't there for long, but he was very pleasant. This was through the mail. It took a long time. I think it was more than 2 years from sending to it coming back. But this is the heptathlete Kelly Southerton, who I'm a big fan of. She's actually a local girl. She's from the Isle of Wight. But yes, she signed this picture for me, and then this collage of her at the Athens Olympics. This was in person. This is a snooker player, Willie Thorne. This was another Collector Mania. He was very nice. As was at the same event Joe Johnson, snooker world champion in 1986, I think he was. Ooh. And I think this was the same event as well. Ken Doherty, another former world snooker champion. He was very nice and a nice little chat. And John Parrott, who, nothing wrong whatsoever, he's very nice, but I just expected from his TV personality, I expected him to be a bit more friendly, but as I say, he wasn't horrible in any way, just wasn't quite what I was expecting. I think this was all at the same Collector Mania. So I'm a Tottenham Hotspur fan, and they had a reunion of most of the 1984 UEFA Cup winning squad. So first up we have Tony Parks, the goalkeeper, who I actually met when I was a kid in 86, I think it was, at a Junior Spurs Christmas party. This is Danny Thomas, the defender. All of these players were really nice. Mickey Hazard, Tony Galvin, Gary Brooke, Gary Mabbott, who wasn't captain at the time but was just starting out at Spurs, he says, and then doubting himself. Might not even... Yes, he was, yes. Yes, sorry. Edit point. This is Gary Mabbott, who was a young squad member in '84, went on to captain Spurs and lifted the FA Cup for us in 1991. So Martin, best Spurs wishes, Gary Mabbott. This was the manager through the early 80s, Keith Birkinshaw, in 84. He also managed the 81 and 82 FA Cup winning teams. So I was really happy to meet him, because without him I probably wouldn't be a Spurs supporter. This is Mark Falco, striker. Not part of the 84 UEFA Cup squad, but he was also there. This is Paul Walsh, who played for us. Also played for Pompey, Liverpool, England. I forgot to ask him to dedicate it. That was my fault. Graham Roberts, back to the 84 Cup winning team. True Spurs legend, Graham. And Paul... my mind has just gone completely. No, it's not in my back. See, I've got the wrong Paul in my head, which doesn't help. I've got Stewart in my head, and that's not Paul Stewart. No. Sorry, gonna have to put it on there. Okay. This was at, I think it was the Entertainment Media Show. I think it was before they changed its name to Mania London. This is Stephen Hendry, 7-time World Snooker Champion, I think he was. He was very pleasant. He was sat with Terry Griffiths, who's 2010 I got these, who was World Snooker Champion of the late 70s or early 80s. He was very nice. His middle name is Martin, so when I said to could he make it to Martin, that attracted his attention and we had a little chat. And then they were also with Jimmy White, who I was disappointed in. He's the People's Champion, famously got to many World Championship finals but never won it. I was looking forward to meeting him. I went up, I put my photo down, and without looking up, he started signing it. So I sort of said, "Oh, could you make it to Martin?" He just sort of, "Oh, well, you should have said." He said, "Well, I never got the chance." He warmed up after that. I think he realised he'd been a bit rude. But yes, it was a bit of a disappointing meet with Jimmy. This was at Sports Mania, which was an event that Showmasters put on a few years back. Can't remember exactly when. But thrilled to get Steve Davis, who is my all-time snooker hero. When I was growing up, he was the snooker player. And I got him to put this quote on it. He was a guest on the panel show, I think it's all over. He was guest captain, actually. And at one point, something happened. And he said, "Well, they don't call me Steve for nothing." Which is the most surreal statement ever. It means absolutely nothing, but it's always stuck with me. So I got him to put it on the autograph. This was an eBay purchase. It came with a certificate of authenticity with details of when and where it was signed, so I'm quite happy with it. And I paid a fair bit for it. So that's Maria Sharapova, a tennis player. This was in person at Bournemouth Film and Comic Con. This is the legend that is Paul Gascoigne. Sure, you don't need to be told who he is. The only Spurs photo they had of him was of him taking a free kick against Arsenal in the 1991 FA Cup semi-final, and it was a shot of his back, so I went for an England shot instead. This I picked up on a stall at that same event. This is Aaron Lennon, who at the time was a Spurs player. Now is he still at Everton? Not sure. But yeah, he's always been a favourite player of mine and my mum's. So happy to pick that up quite cheap. This was at a Collectomania that I couldn't get to, so I pre-ordered it. No, it wasn't. They brought back Sports Mania, but it was somewhere that was a bugger to drive to from where I am, so I didn't go. So I pre-ordered it anyway, and this is Neil Razor Ruddock, who played for Spurs and Liverpool, amongst other teams. And same event, Darren Anderton, who Spurs, Pompey, Southampton player, and England, of course. Sorry about the wobble. This was at Collectomania, the last one I went to, I think, at the stadium at Milton Keynes. This is Spurs and Liverpool and England goalkeeper Ray Clemens. And this was at the same one. This was Peter Shreve, who was assistant manager in '84 and then went on to manage us. This was at the same event. This is Matthew Hoggart, the cricketer. He was with Michael Vaughan, who I showed you earlier. Matthew was a lot friendlier. This was at Sports Mania, the one that I did go to. This is, of course, Sir Geoff Hurst scoring the winning goal in the 1966 World Cup final. They had a little reunion there. You'll see more 66 players in a second. This was at the same event. This is... his name has just gone. Oh, that's silly. Derek Redmond. Of course it's Derek bloody Redmond. 400 metre athlete, famously pulled up in the Olympic final in 84 or 88, one of the two, and was helped round by his dad. Yeah, he was a really nice guy. Got him to sign on for my mum as well while I was there. Again, this was at the Sports Mania. This was Virginia Wade, won Wimbledon in 1977. She was very nice. More 66, another 66er. This is Nobby Stiles. Again, all the players were very nice, as was a hero of mine, Pat Jennings, who was Spurs goalkeeper and then betrayed us and went to Arsenal. But yeah, I'm really happy to have met him. Another 66er, and this is Roger Hunt, I think. Was it Ray Wilson? Doesn't say. It's not Roger Hunt, is it? I think that's Ray Wilson. Yes, it's Ray Wilson. I'm pretty certain it's Ray Wilson. This is, again, it was the same Sports Mania. It's Frank Bruno, who is everything you'd expect him to be. I was wearing a Prince t-shirt, so we actually ended up chatting about Prince, as I often do. Part of the 66 reunion, but I got him on a Spurs photo. This is Martin Peters. He was very nice. We had a Spurs chat. Also very nice was Jimmy Greaves, who, although he was in the squad in 66, was there as a separate from the 66 squad, if that makes sense, or the 66 team. He was really nice. He was exactly how you'd expect Jimmy Greaves to be. As we speak, he's not a very well man, but at the time he was firing on all cylinders. So this was Roger Hunt, wasn't it? Yes, this was Roger Hunt. Very poor choice of photos by the time I got to him, so I had to get this squad one. I didn't want to get a squad one signed by everybody because Alan Ball was meant to be there, but he died a couple of months beforehand. Obviously Bobby Moore I would never get, nor... I'm not sure who that is. I was going to say nor Alf Ramsey, but Alf Ramsey's not in it. And Bobby Charlton doesn't do signing shows, although he signs through the mail. He doesn't do signing shows, so I knew I would never complete it, so I didn't want to go for a squad photo and get them all to sign it. This was at the same event. This is Ricky Villa, the Spurs player. Misspelt my name, but he's Argentinian, so I'll let him off. Again, still at the Sports Mania, this is Jack Charlton, one of his famous tackles. And at the same event, another Spurs legend, Ozzy Ardiles. It was very nice. And back to 66, and this is George Cohen. Famous shot of him, Alf Ramsey not letting him swap shirts with the Argentinian player because of a violent way the Argentinian team played the game. Again, this is at the same event. This is another Spurs legend. This is Steve Perryman, who was our captain in the early 80s. Thrilled to have met him. And again, at the same event, Gordon Banks, who's sadly no longer with us now, but he was very nice. 66 goalkeeper. Then at a later Collector Mania, this was the darts player Bobby George, who was a lovely guy. And really nice guy, Eddie the Eagle Edwards. It's not long after he'd appeared on... I can't remember the name of it, but it was an ITV cooking show that was on about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And he won it with a crumble he made, so I chatted to him about that. Through the mail success, this is the wonderful Jessica Ennis, or Jessica Ennis Hill as she is now. I printed off 4 photos and I was only meant to send a couple, but I stuck them all in by mistake and she signed them all for me. So I gave one to Mum that she hadn't dedicated and she signed that one, and that one for me as well. It's Eric Bristow. Met him at a Collector Mania. He was very nice. And he's gone now, hasn't he? Blimey, yes. Ray Weirden, another snooker legend, former world champion, really nice guy. As was Cliff Thorburn, again, former world snooker champion. This is an advert for a isotonic juicy water that Steve Redgrave was promoting at a trade show that my manager went to, and he picked that up for me. Signed by Steve Redgrave. John Virgo I met at, I think it was the Entertainment Media Show still then. He was very nice. Chatted to him about singing him in Panto and got him to put his catchphrase from Big Break on there, pot as many balls as you can. And sat next to him was Dennis Taylor. It's the famous shot of him winning the World Championship in 1985. And he was a lovely guy. And then finally on the sport at the same event was one of England's greatest ever cricketers. Highest run scorer, I think he still is our highest run scorer, might be wrong, but that's Graham Gooch, who wasn't overly chatty but was very nice. So that's my sport 10x8s. Oops. If you've watched my signed programmes videos, you'll have seen some signed sports programmes as well, and there's a couple of other bits that I will show you on my miscellaneous miscellany, that's the word I was looking for, video that I will do at the end of my autograph collection video run thing. Anyway, blathering on now. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks. Bye.